Yes, sir. You already know what time it is. Big 10K, Nino, man. I mean, should we talk about that for a second before we get to today's episode?
Yeah, I mean, I just happened to click on the thing and I saw it. I was like, whoa, it's we appreciate everybody. It's been a wild ride, a short but very successful wild ride, and we truly appreciate every single subscriber, follower, comment, share. It's you guys that get us to where we are, and we could all be doing this talking to ourselves, but you followers, you people out there, we appreciate every single one of you. So thank you.
Yeah. I second what Nino said. It's been, like he said, short, but it's been spectacular, man. But welcome to another marvelous episode of Overreaction Monday. I guess this is just the Overreaction previews. I am the governor of college football, and with me, as always, a guy that needs no introduction, downtown, Brown, the mayor of college football. Yo, spring season already is slowly winding down, but we still got a lot of games on the docket. If you don't mind, we're gonna get straight to it. We ain't gonna waste no time today. So Syracuse, you know how I feel about Syracuse. It's a team that I'm very high on. Dino Babers coaching Syracuse Orange over the first 8 seasons, bolstering a record of 41-55 over that period. So he is out in his Fan Brown, defensive back coach from Georgia over the last few seasons. He's built a reputation of somebody that works extremely hard, and he's looking to right the ship from the Orange. Nino, not only does the Orange have a slew of talent, but they also have somewhat of a favorable schedule. What is the current temperature in upstate New York?
Cooking. Listen, Fran went in there with a game plan, an agenda, and he just attacked. And okay. The main thing I told you that I was disgusted about was the quarterback play at Syracuse last year. He had Garrett straight out playing out wide, doing backflips. Like it was just, they went through 3 quarterbacks. I mean, they ran the ball more than they actually passed the ball per game, which is disgusting, right?
Right.
I was just at one point they were a very good team, and I literally pounded the table about this. After 5 weeks, they were a top 5 team on both offensive and defensive scoring, and then just totally went to shit. So this guy went in there, mopped the floor, cleaned everything up, and just went and attacked what he needed. I need a quarterback. I got to get a guy. Well, Ohio State said, we don't want you anymore. We're gonna throw you to the wolves, even though you threw for 24-6 and went for 3,000 yards in Kyle McCord. Bring a guy over here that's got a chip on his shoulder the size of a boulder. He's out to prove something, and I think you're going to see the best of McCord in this. But like I said, it wasn't done, right? What did he do? Well, he was at Georgia, and they had a 3-star wide receiver. They brought in Zeed Hayes, and Zeed was interviewed and saying that it was hard for him to succeed at Georgia. Like, you come in there, be a 3-4, even a 5-star. The same guys are in front of you. You got to wait your turn. Well, Fran was the guy who recruited Zeed. So where did he go? Syracuse, big guy. I know they lost Damian Alford just yesterday, who went to Utah. But I'm telling you, between Oronde Gadsden and Zeed Hayes, they have 2 big weapons that they're going to utilize, and they return the Clint Allen Jr. Like, he has a squad. He has returning guys on defense. Marlo Wax is back. I love he was the guy that I think tried as hard as he possibly could to keep morale and keep it all going. But at some point, when everybody is just like, it takes a toll on you. And I feel like he was a guy that the whole flip-flop of the game, the scheme and everything they were doing, it really, really affected his game. But, they brought Deuce Chestnut, another guy, LSU. They're bringing an SEC talent. Like, he's bringing in dogs. They're grinding. You see what they're doing in the spring, like in practices. They may not be as extremely successful as, we would like to see. Yes, they do have a skill. Let's look at this schedule. Let's take a look. Ohio off the rip, right? That's a dub. The Georgia Tech game, I think that's an early trap game. I mean, I've been talking kind of up about, the Yellow Jackets, but, it's at home. I think that's a measuring stick. Okay, we're going to see where we're at and what Fran has been able to cook early. Then they got an off week. Stanford at home. Stanford's going to be traveling cross country.
Right.
That should be a dub. Holy Cross got stripped down bare like a Las Vegas hooker in the middle of the night. So this squad is brand new, fresh, like inexperienced. That This game. This is a game I want to see. They're traveling out to Vegas to go against UNLV.
Yep.
You know how I feel about Marion over there, the OC. I just think this will be I talk measuring stick games. They could be what 3-1, 4-0 possibly. This is how you real, right? Because then you go UNLV, then you go again on the road to number 18, the Wolfpack, NC State, but then you get an off week. So you can regroup. So, I mean, say they lose 2 in a row, right? Say they lose UNLV and NC State, but they're close. So, they're in it. That's 4-2. And then you're looking at a kind of favorable schedule to close it out. Pitt, Virginia Tech, Boston College. We don't know what they're going to be.
Right.
Now it's up in the air looking for identity. The at-Cal game, that's the game that's a straight L. You're crawling cross country to a team that has some seasoned veterans on it that can perform. You come back home to UConn, and then you play at home at Miami. That possibly could be Cam Ward's last game ever.
Right.
5, 6, maybe 7. I mean, I think they can get to 6 or 7, so they possibly could go bowling. But I think it's the next year or two after that where we're going to start to see close to the double-digit victories and possibly be a team that's the top of the ACC, if the ACC is still there.
Yeah, it truly depends, like you said, on a number of factors. Some of those timely games that they have, traveling to UNLV, then having to go to Raleigh and play a tough NC State game. It's hard to go down there and get a win. But I think they have the talent to do it. I think they have the right guy there to get it done. And I think that we can see Fran Brown, can we say a la Jeff Brom, and kind of do what the Cadillac Louisville Cardinals did last year. I can see it, but I can also see what you said, where it's a 6-6 year, and then we're kind of scratching our heads at the end of the year. But I mean, he went bowling year 1, but maybe didn't get as much out of his players as we expected.
It's not all his, right? Like
right, for sure.
So it's piecework of his guys per se. But just like Louisville, I mean, they got hot shot out of a cannon, but the end of the year wasn't like,
it was rough. It was rough.
Very. So
the Florida State game, Miller Moss game.
There was a couple games where you were like, "Whoa, this is what we thought we were going to see." To begin the year, but like I said, my expectations is somewhere in between the 6 to 8. 8, I'm super happy. I think that they've got the ball rolling. 6, 7, they're still putting the Lego pieces together and building something.
So you've already mentioned a couple players that you were interested in seeing. Any others you want to mention before we close out this spring game?
I mean, obviously, Kyle McCord. I've been adamant on Kyle McCord. I think they did him dirty. I was a fan of his. I think that his game translates to the next level. I mean, 24-6 and 3,100 yards, over 60% completion, and they ran you out the building. That don't even make sense to me
at all. They didn't even want him to start. Like, they let the quarterback battle spill into way through fall camp. We talk about like Monday of the week. Like, I'm thinking, okay, is this a smokescreen? They really don't know who they want, but it was really coaches on that staff who thought that Devin Brown was the better quarterback.
What did I say? And I wasn't joking. People who wear 33 at QB, you don't belong in that position.
Dog, like facts.
And 5 for 7 for 60 yards. Burn the damn boats, boy. I mean, come on. McCord is going to put. McCord could possibly put up better numbers than he did at Ohio State.
I think he will.
With the schedule and the competition. It's like the Big Ten. Look at some of these teams. I just Stanford, Holy Cross, Ohio, Pitt.
Yeah.
I love Virginia Tech. They got a D. They got a good secondary.
You got defense. I like the coaching.
Offense. But like,
I love Murphy.
UConn lost some dudes on the defensive side of the ball as well. So it's like, I think they're going to be putting up some points. And I think Kyle McCord's going to be a benefactor of that. I want to see LeQuint Allen. I've been a fan of LeQuint Allen for 2 years. This dude is carved out of granite. Okay. And he has the tools to be a back at the next level. He can run in between the hashes. He can run to the outside. He's a pass catcher. He can be at all 3 downs because he can pass pro. The team went to shit. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Right.
And he still
That's a fact.
grinded out the best he could with what he had. You know, when they went to the backup quarterback, it went to a more of an RPO style. It was just gross. But I think
who knew Garrett Schrader was the runner that he was? Like,
well, it's been back to back years. He's kind of had to run, but last year was just what the heck?
Like last year was weird. Man.
Yeah, so I'm like I said, I'm staying in that 6 to 8 window pocket, and I think McCord takes that step. Does McCord get himself into that top 5 quarterback class, or will he have to take that extra year and maybe wait one more? We'll have to wait and see. We'll see how everything else pans out. But his name should be mentioned in the group throughout the year.
It should be. Not having to look over his shoulder, having a bolt of confidence, not only from the staff, but from the players around him. I think it's certainly a win-win situation. Yeah. Moving right along, Texas Tech was one of the teams I was really off on last year. I mean, like swing and a miss. There was a few things I was just so dead on, but like Texas Tech, I was really off. I expected a big season from them. I expected a big season from my guy, Jerron Bradley, who's now on Chestnut Hill. Tyler Shuck, who went down with an injury, and he's now Jeff Brom. He's now with Jeff Brom in Louisville. Nino, what's the current temperature in Lubbock?
I think, and I don't want to sound rude because they have pieces. Like they have Taj Brooks, who was top 3 in missed tackles force last year. He was an absolute monster, top 10 in yards, produced. And they're bringing back a guy in Baron Morton at the QB who filled in for Shuck when he went down, and he didn't do bad, but a lot of people are going to remember the Texas game where he got just destroyed, 3 picks.
And then the Oregon game.
I'm talking about it's usually the most recent subject that you remember, but against Cal, bowl game, he went for 3 touchdowns, right, 280 something yards. Kind of showed us a little bit of what he's got. You got the kid behind him, and Will Hammond. I spoke about this with Andy on a different podcast. The coaching staff, Joe McGuire likes Morton, and they don't really have a lot of depth in that room. So at least for the first 4 to 5 weeks, I believe Morton is going to be the guy. I honestly don't think Will Hammond takes the job this year. I think next year it will be his easily. So I think they're trying to solidify the room, lay the groundwork this year, because every single wide receiver in that room that's starting is either a freshman who's a 5-star, Micah Hudson, who is going to do phenomenal things, or a transfer from Florida, Washington State. So it's like they're kind of going to be a work in progress on the offensive side of the ball. Defensive side of the ball, Ben Roberts. I've been pounding the freaking table on Ben Roberts. All right. This kid, as a freshman, he wasn't even supposed to stop. First week, the guy in front of him was like playing lackadaisical. They yanked his ass, threw him out. It was getting there. 2 freshmen in the pot, 100 tackles. First year. Let's go. I truly believe that Ben Roberts will be a top 5 linebacker in the Big 12 next year. This year, I'm saying. And people are going to be like, whoa, where did he come from? Well, he did it last year, and you guys just were sleeping because you don't really follow ball like you should. But the schedule, what they got to go through with the work and growing pains that they have, like I said, they're just turning on the oven. It's on preheat. I think if we go through the schedule, right off the ripper here, Wyoming should be. Oh, that was last year's schedule. I'm sorry. What's this? When you have the schedule up?
I got it. You got it. Okay.
Yeah. So it's Aberdeen Christian, right? That should be a dub. I would hope at home. Washington State and Pullman. I mean, both teams are kind of trying to find an identity. That game's kind of a coin toss. I guess I would hope they would get that one, right? So they're 2-0. North Texas, I believe that should be a dub for them. I don't know what in God's green earth is going on in Arizona State and Kenny Dillingham, but my man can't keep team, right? Rashada hits the portal just maybe an hour or 2 ago. Wide receiver Elijah Badgers hit the portal. I really don't know what's going on over there. Maybe they win 2 to 4 games, but I don't know if it's going to be against Texas Tech.
His seat could get a little hot this year, and it's really early to be saying that, but his seat could get a little hot this year.
Very, very true. Very true. So you're looking at possible 4-0 start. This Cincinnati game, this is the measuring stick.
Yeah, that's the measuring stick game for sure.
I think they have a couple of pieces over there. I really like Corey Kiner, the running back. Brendan Salisbury. So all I want to say, another guy, but I put my flag down early on this kid, right? Coming over from Indiana. Everything that we're seeing early in the spring practices, I know it's just Spandex Olympics, the Spandex Survivor Series, call it, but he's been balling out. The throwing of the ball doesn't matter if it's got pads on or if you're throwing in street clothes. It's how you throw the ball. It's how you throw the ball, and he's delivering. Arizona, that's an L. I'm sorry.
Not winning out.
No, Baylor. It's at home, Texas game. That's not a guaranteed.
No.
Either way. TCU is again another Texas battle. Those should be battles. This one's on the road, though, if you want to call it on the road. They're going to Fort Worth, Iowa State. In Iowa State, those games are always difficult. But I don't know how much top tier talent that Iowa State's going to have to battle with Texas Tech. I think this could be, the Michael Hudson big breakout game, to be totally honest with you. And then you follow up with Colorado, Oklahoma State, and West Virginia. Now, Oklahoma State is kind of rebuilding themselves, but West Virginia is no pushover. Garrett Green and those 3 wide receivers that they have are absolute studs. So 5, 6.
And that's the interesting thing, though, like my expectations for this team are certainly lower than last year, but they can be a better team. I guess that's just the world of college football. Like,
I guess so, right? Yeah. It's crazy, but like to see Hammond, would they have to start like we talked about? So you got Ohio and teams like that. You would have to lose at least 2 out of those first 4, right? You'd have to lose like Washington State and maybe, I don't know, Arizona State or say Cincinnati. So Cincinnati and Washington, you'd be 3-2, and then you would lose to Arizona in 3. So you start 3-3. Would they pull the plug there? I don't think so.
Yeah,
I think you would ride the junior and more and see what you got before you throw this kid into the fire. Like I said, that whole wide receiver room is fresh and new. It's going to take a couple games for chemistry to develop.
Wow, that is a fantastic point. Any other players you wanted to mention before we move on to the next game?
Michael Hudson, man.
Yeah,
I just like the kid, his body control, his catch radius, the way he can high point the ball. I mean, if you've watched any kind of film on this kid, there's a very good chance that he's one of the top 3 in that class. What all said and done, that his body work could be. I'm not saying it's all going to be at Texas Tech. I'm just saying,
right,
what his ceiling could be. There's a good chance he could be in that top group of guys. He just has it. Like I said, catch radius, like body control, the way he creates separation with subtleness, and he has that long speed. He got it. He's him. He's gonna be one of them dudes that we're talking about for the next 2-3 years in this class.
I can't wait till we follow up on some of these teams during fall camp, getting our fall camp intel and seeing like what has changed, in those couple of months, because fall camp typically kicks off first week in August, kind of last week in July. So I can't wait to kind of do an update on Texas Tech. Mississippi State was nothing short of a dumpster fire, and most of the onus has to be placed on former coach Zach Arnett. Completely changed the system, and furthermore, lied to Will Rogers and his family, stating there wouldn't be major changes to the system, but there was. Will Rogers is now in Washington, and former Oklahoma Sooners offensive coordinator Jeff Lebby has taken the reins as head coach. Nino, what is the temperature in Starkville right now? I'm sure it has to be a better feeling than it was before Zach Arnett departure.
There's still a little bit of that.
It's a little stank.
Yeah. Right. A couple victories will kind of erase that. But what I do love is, listen, they lied to Rodgers, right? I don't love that. I love the fact that Letty went and attacked the thing that they needed the most, was offensive line. Rodgers was getting murdered last year, right? And they got 4 guys in the portal. They went out and got 4 big boys in the portal to keep their new quarterback, Blake Shapen, upright. Now, I actually think that we're going to see a really good season out of Blake Shapen. He was 13-3, 2,100 yards last year, 62% completion. I think he's a little underrated. Like he was in that.
It's the perfect marriage.
Coming from Baylor and that offense
Shapen.
style, right?
Yeah,
they have that modified air raid style. Levy's good. Is that dude, right?
And that's moments where like Shapen look really good. You're like, wow, this kid's got a lot of potential. But with him and Jeff Levy, I think that's the perfect marriage, bro.
Yeah, and then you're bringing in this kid, and Kelly Akari, who was just a deep ball threat wide receiver last season. I think they did the right thing. They built it from the ground up, right? Protection for the guy. Okay, now we got our guy, and now we'll go get weapons for our guy. Look, they have a lot of these kids coming in as well. Like JJ Harrell, big wide receiver. Braylon Burnside, big wide receiver. These are freshmen who could actually see a little bit of time this year, right? They needed linebacker play. They hit the portal. They went to South Carolina, got Stone Bland. Now, he's not this flashy guy, but he's a veteran guy that can lead this linebacker room. And then just recently, they went and got a dude at running back, Rashad Amos, okay? Miami of Ohio. I always say don't scout, the helmet, scout the player. Exactly. People may not even know who the heck I'm talking about. 6'2", 235 pounds. This kid averaged 5.1 yards per carry on 210 attempts, 1,000 yards, right? I believe he had double-digit touchdowns, 13 touchdowns. They got themselves a workhorse back to go along with potential in that quarterback room. I'm not going to give a prediction on what they get for how many wins this year because I want to actually see what they produce. I don't want to put any, stamp on anything. But I think Levy could actually have a little something here. And I think that, that wins might be there, but the offensive production and being in no more victories, we always say that, but they might be in a lot of close games where like, okay, they're buying in early. And I'm excited to see how the season, goes along and where we're at the end, because this could be a team that we're talking about next year that's on the rise.
I thought you put that so well. Like, we always saying no more victories, but they could be a scrappy team. Think about it. They had a chance to really, towards the end of the season, like somebody, college football playoff chances could die in the hands of Mississippi State because they're going to be scrappy. Right? They're going to be competitive. And I can't wait to see what this team have to offer. So this is another team I want to do an update on during fall camp. So this next spring game we're going to talk about, Nino, it's one that when you named it, I was like, Nino's ready for this. So let's get right into it. Wake Forest seems to be a team that somehow gets lost in the shuffle as it pertains to media hype, but this team is better than advertising. One thing about the Dave Clawson coach team is that they're going to give you their all. Nino, this is one of the sneaky teams this season. What is there to like about this Damon Deacon program?
Oh, my friend. So they're bringing in a quarterback in Hank Bachmeier. I'm just a fan of the Bachmeier family. I think, they got Tiger, the wide receiver, out in Stanford. He is just
still a beat to his own drum. That's still one of my favorite interviews by you, because Hank Bachmeier was just chilling, bro.
Like, he was he was doing his thing in the car. Like I said, his family is just all football. Like two of his brothers, one of them, like I said, is out in Stanford as a wide receiver. The other one, I believe, is a quarterback too. So it's like they got this athleticism to him. They just constantly perform. But they're bringing in this kid that's got some sauce, a little bit of juice to him, in Jeremy Helinski, I believe. He's a Georgia quarterback out of Walton High School. I'm just really interested in that. I know Michael Kern is there, right? But he's a redshirt senior. They went and got a senior in the portal. That
kind of give you an idea of what's going on there.
Right. Can we see Donovan Green be healthy in this wide receiver? We've been hoping for it's been like 2 years now.
It has been a couple of years.
Guy. Can he be an alpha, right? Can he take over this room? Because he flashed a little bit. It was A.T. Perry's last season. Right?
Yeah, it was A.T. Perry's last season.
As his sidekick now. And I always wondered, was it because you had this dude who could stretch the field and was always, had a safety cheating to that side?
Yeah.
Right. Last year, only had a couple games, got hurt. Apparently he's healthy. I want to see we get this bounce back from him. Like I want to see, does he have, the explosive to him? Because Jeremiah Melvin, this 4-star out of Cape Fear, he's gonna be cooking in spring, and he's gonna want to get these reps. He's not gonna want in a room where there's not like, it's pretty much Green and Taylor Moore, the slot guy, and then I think everything else is kind of up for grabs, right? You better lock down your positions. You better just, if it's an open room, go get it, hold on to it, and show that you're the guy. You mentioned, the coach and how he runs things there. Lately, it's been a lot of mediocrity at the end of the product is kind of bland, right? They lost a big name, so there's no flash without, you don't have any of that flair anymore. Maybe going in Bachmeier and a guy who can kind of make this offense high powered, and put up some bigger numbers than last year. It'll be interesting. People seem to forget about the Demon Deacons, and I feel as though there's a chance that there's a couple of guys on here that can string along, a couple of good games, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, reemergence, right? A reemergence.
Yeah, right.
Deacons to something that we haven't seen in a while. I want to see Branson Combs. Can he take over this linebacker room? Right? Can he be the Buck, Mike, whatever you want to call it? I think it changes from team to team.
Yeah, it does.
That hybrid style guy, right? Coming over from Southern Illinois, right? So you're taking a step. You're moving up to the big boys now. Can you lead that room? Because he's going to be the starter. Can you get downhill and attack these running backs in ACC? Can you get downhill and cause, havoc and disruption of these quarterbacks? Can you lead? Can you be a leader? Because they're going to need somebody in that on that front seven that can just call them out when they're adjusting. That can be like, okay, this is what we're going with. No, he just maneuvered. He ain't going. It's all fake. We need a guy. You need a guy that can call everything out. Can he be that dude? I think this year's, like I said, another team that I think is going to be measuring stick season.
Right.
And I probably think maybe 5 this year. And then we'll reevaluate. If they get 5 and they play the freshmen, next year it's going to be real saucy.
Right. That's crazy. Shout out to the Demon Deacons. I will make it out to Winston-Salem at least once this year. They're a friend of the network. Shout out to Syracuse as well. I mean to do that more often. Shout out to schools that are friends of our network. We can't do a lot of the things that we do and provide the access that we provide with a lot of these universities. Last but certainly not least, if you ask 10 people about the current state of USC football, you will probably get 10 different answers. Former Heisman Trophy winner and surefire lock to be number 1 pick of the 2024 NFL Draft, Caleb Williams, means that Lincoln Riley will have to develop another quarterback as he does so well. The guy is junior quarterback Miller Bowles, who lit up the Holiday Bowl with 6 TD passes versus the Louisville team that we mentioned earlier. Alex Grinch is out as defensive coordinator at USC. Stole the defensive coordinator from their crosstown rivals, Indiana and Tom Lynn from UCLA. USC is in the Big Ten now, and they will need to find a way to win ugly games. And I wonder if Lincoln Riley's okay with that. Nino, what's the current temperature on SoCal?
Hot.
Not in a good way.
Dry. My boy wakes up sweating.
Uh-huh.
He said how he does so well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't know if I want to go down this road again.
Go ahead.
His system might do well.
Go ahead.
But he don't develop a goddamn quarterback. He ain't done it. Can't do it. We'll never do it. It's just the system that he puts in, and people think that his system develops quarterback. No. Josh Heupel develops quarterbacks, okay? But he also has a system that works very well for quarterbacks. Lincoln Riley just has a system. He can't develop anything. He can't even develop film, okay?
Wow.
But now I got that off my chest.
Yeah.
It's hot for everybody there. Because Malachi Nelson's gone. 5-star. Said, see you later. He felt the same way I felt about the developmental skills of Lincoln Riley. He bounced. But they brought in Jaden Maivia, and we saw Miller Moss have this prolific performance, 5 touchdowns in the bowl game. I think that's going to be a little bit bad. Everybody says, it's Miller Moss's job. Is it though? Like, why would they go get this guy?
Right.
If it was Miller Moss's job,
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure you could just bring in a guy that was a freshman to be a backup, or anybody in the portal that you wanted to be, just a backup. I think this kid's in there for a healthy quarterback battle. I don't think anybody's got the job.
Competition breeds greatness, man.
The USC aura and identity can be summed up in one sentence.
Wow.
Bear Alexander's portals decisions. I'm in. I'm out. He's hokey pokeying around. This is what I feel about the USC. They just today I feel this. Tomorrow I'll feel this. The next day it might be the same. I don't know. Like, there's no fluidity to them. Everything is just kind of, ever since like the whole Caleb is checked out, right? Caleb's into draft mode now. I feel like everything's just been and there's a lot of talent in that room. Deuce Robinson, Zachariah Branch, like, you got guys. But Kai Lemon, I'm hoping that he gets a shot this year. And like Jacoby Lane, like, he's been balling out, like kind of like a Taj Washington in spring. Like, so you want to see it. That we talked Mississippi State. Their new running back comes over from Mississippi State, and Woody Mox. I do like his game. He's kind of an elusive, speedy back. I think he'll get some work this year. But do I want to talk about the linebackers? Maybe, but like, they brought in Mason Cobb last year, and what did he really do? Like, their defense was terrible, right?
Oh,
it
was bad.
They're bringing Easton Mesner.
They waited too long.
Another guy that had 100 tackles. And what's going to happen? Are you going to get blown up in this defensive scheme? I know he's made some coaching changes. I get all that. But like, in the end, you can put lipstick on a pig. It's still a pig.
It's still a pig, for sure.
I don't care how you dress it up, put a moo-moo on it, whatever it is. But they're in a new place. They're literally a new face in a new place with no identity, I feel.
No.
That, to me, just screams run.
How many wins do you think they get this year?
Let me see. USC.
Yeah. I'm interested to hear your opinion on this, because things can get real ugly for Lincoln real fast.
Loss. They'll win. They should win against Utah State, because I'm just not a Spencer Petras fan. I love Jalen Royals. I think he's an absolute dog at wide receiver, and he's going to probably go in the second round of next year's draft. But I don't know about Spencer Petras. Michigan, loss. Wisconsin, loss. Even at home, I think they're going to lose that game. I think this set year 2 with Fickle, they got a plan. At Minnesota, they should win that one. I don't know here. Penn State. What Drew Aller are we getting?
Right.
Mr. Two-Face, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Are we going to get the guy that's throwing balls into the goalpost, or are we going to get a guy that was supposed to be a legitimate 5-star recruit coming in? But they have 3 running backs that can go off at any moment. So I would have to say I'm going to go Penn State here, because they always have a solid, like, beat you up type defense. This kid's only in his first year as a starter. And it could, if they, at this point, they could be Maivia at that time, and he's more of a mobile guy. We'll have to see what happens. Mobile. But I'm going Penn State.
And Abdul Carter is going to be unleashed this year.
I'm going Maryland. Okay? MJ Morris. Okay. That's a flag I've been playing. That's a flag.
It has been a flag you've been playing.
I think in College Park,
that'll probably be an early game too.
Oh yeah, probably be a noon game.
Yeah, the cross country. It's early games is no. It's no bueno.
Then you get Rutgers, okay.
And it won't be a pushover,
country, right?
Yeah.
And then you go to Seattle, but I don't know what Washington's going to be this year.
Right.
Nebraska at home, that's going to be a spicy one.
Right.
You could see Dylan Raiola against Miller Moss.
He could.
Right? Like,
you could.
At UCLA will be another interesting one. And then they'll probably get smoked by Notre Dame. Smoked. Like, if Riley Leonard is fully healthy, this is his last game before he goes to the dance. Oh, he's going to ball out. He's going to go off. So, in reality, we got, let me see, 1 win, 2 wins, 3 wins, 4 wins, maybe 6 wins. Maybe
6. So
if he don't go bowling, he's looking for a new job.
He's got to be looking for a new job if he doesn't go bowling. So if he wins 8 or 9 games, hypothetically, with the schedule that you just read, would your mind about how you feel about Lincoln Riley? Would that change at all?
If they win 9 games in a new conference, he gets another year. He'll get another year.
He gets another year.
I still don't like him. I still don't believe, I don't. It's not about him.
It's funny because on this podcast I hear you say it. On College Football Showdown I hear Jalen say it. I've heard Boomer say it. It's funny, man.
I don't know. It's just there's something about him. Him and Cliff, super fake.
Yeah,
like they must know. They must have some TMZ ties, bro. They must have dirt on people. I don't like, what the hell has Cliff Kingsbury done in the past 3 years that you would want this dude as your offensive coordinator?
That's who you know, man. You know what it is.
I know. And then this with Lincoln Riley. Like last year for Caleb, do you think he did better for Caleb than he did? I don't think he helped Caleb out last year.
No. Caleb had to play hero ball a little way too much last year. There was a lot of things wrong with that team last year. So I really want to see if this is the year that we see, when you take everything away, who Lincoln Riley is. Like I say, if he goes 9-3 or better, my respect level for him will change a little bit.
I just want to read this off here.
Go ahead.
Sophomore,
mm-hmm.
sophomore,
mm-hmm.
sophomore,
mm-hmm.
sophomore,
mm-hmm.
freshman,
mm-hmm.
redshirt,
wide
senior
receivers,
transfer, and a junior. Those are the wide receiver room. Right? Hey, senior transfer, sophomore, redshirt freshman. That's your running back room.
Yikes.
It's not very, you go down the line here, it's not like you got a redshirt freshman as your starting left tackle.
That's rough.
You got a sophomore as your starting right guard. There's so much inexperience on this team.
He better be putting the work
in. If he wins 9 games, bro, I will
right.
30 seconds, I will stand up and clap for that man if he wins 9 games. I just cannot see that.
With the schedule plus the roster, it's gonna have to be his best coaching job ever.
Yes.
So I was really protective. I'm going off script here before we close this out. I know you gotta leave. I was very protective over Deion Sanders last year. I laid into him the other day. I'm not sure if you heard it on College Football Showdown, but I read him his rights.
You had to save this for the end, huh?
Yeah. How do you feel about what's going on over there?
What they lose
in Colorado? They look Kamani McLean.
What did he do?
He didn't do much there. But
and he wasn't doing good in practice. Again,
keep in mind though, he only had 11 scholarship players from the 2024 class. 11. 11. Just like I'm critical of Dabo Swinney because he doesn't utilize the portal when it's there to be utilized. 11. Not doing any not doing any in-home visits.
Boston College had 9.
And Boston College had a great portal season, and Boston College got a lot of great pieces in place.
Colorado had a great portal season.
What happens? What happens when Shador, Shiloh, and Travis Hunter say sayonara, what happens to the program next year? His son had to get on IG the other day and tap dance, and there, of course, there was people in his inbox, but he essentially that's what he had to do. Deion's got to change his approach. Yeah, he had to do that. He had to do that. He was tap dancing.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, tap dancing.
You have said that they have been the best media team. This is a media ploy. It's all it is.
But this
every offensive lineman in the portal, not college football, in the portal. You want to come to Colorado? Why? Because you are going to be the guy they talk about. Offensive line is under the microscope. If you want to prove something, you come here.
For sure.
Wide receivers. You want
but why did he have to say this isn't last chance you?
It's not. Why is it last chance you?
Why did he say it?
Because people have been saying it.
Why do you have to say that this isn't last chance you? What's understood don't need to be explained. I'm telling you, yo. Life past 2020, this 2024 season for Colorado is gonna get real unchy for Deion if he don't change some of his approach, bro. I can't sit here and support him the way that I do, and I hold him accountable to the same standard that I hold everybody else accountable to. No in-home visits, not one. Not one. Who are you? What have you done at this level as a head coach?
Hold on.
Not one.
You ain't said shit like this about Texas A&M, about fucking Alabama, about Arizona, about Washington. The same amount of MFers walked out that same day. Texas A&M and Alabama have been on the turnover way worse than Colorado for 4 straight years.
I was highly critical of Jimbo Fisher. Highly critical.
You just flipped. You flipped in less than 6 months.
No. I didn't flip. I did not flip. I'll be watching all the Colorado games this season. I'll be supporting Colorado this season. I just can't sit here and not hold Deion Sanders accountable. You saw how protective I was over Colorado all that season.
They are not accountable for shit. None of them are. That's how they roll.
That's crazy. No in-home visits, though, Nino? Not one? Not one?
Give a shit about that. What
you think Lane Kiffin not doing in-home visits?
Oh, no, they're doing in-home visits. I agree. I don't think that's right, but what he said is what he said. Nobody needs to see me in their house. The problem is when people like him talk that talk.
Right.
Everybody wants instant results.
Right.
He stands on business.
Mm-hmm.
You can say all the shit you want about the people that left that team.
Right.
Ain't nobody done a goddamn thing.
No. Agreed.
And the year before was a straight dumpster fire.
Mm-hmm.
He had to do what he had to do.
Yeah. No, I'm in 100% agreement with that. He had to get rid of the amount of players he had to get rid of. Yo, they were what, 111?
When you bring in that many transfers, why are you in the transfer portal?
You're in the transfer portal
because you're not a starter, most likely.
Right.
Okay. Most likely.
It depends.
I love Kyle McCord, but he wasn't a starter. That's why he had to go to the portal. His team declared him not the starter. That's why you're in the portal. So you're in the portal for a better opportunity, right? So they're trying to. Doesn't mean you're the guy. Doesn't mean that this is gonna. It's totally different recruitment in the portal than it is when you're getting these kids coming out of high school.
Yeah, it is.
You got to figure things out. So maybe half those kids that came in the portal didn't work. Okay, see you later.
For sure, I get that.
When you bring 60 in, you're probably gonna lose 30. It's gonna look bad.
11? 11, dog. 11.
How many other schools though are in that boat, bro? I just said Boston College.
You name Boston College. Name another one. 11.
I haven't done the research. Have you though?
Okay.
To go out there and crucify this man about 11 scholarships. Whoa. We need to go down school.
I'm not crucifying him. I'm holding him accountable, bro. There's a difference.
But then there's the other schools that have to be held accountable.
I support Colorado. I support Deion Sanders, but no in-home visits, and you got 11 recruits. The math is equaling out, bro. Like, put in more work.
So wait a minute. Jimbo Fisher made a bunch of in-home recruits.
I held Jimbo Fisher accountable.
Had the best recruiting class.
Yeah.
and lost them all.
Yeah.
The fuck did your home visits do?
No. That's a different situation.
Whoa.
Come on. That's a completely different situation. Jimbo Fisher's issue has never been recruiting. Jimbo Fisher's issue has never been putting the work in. Jimbo Fisher's issue was their play, especially from the offensive side of the ball, where they're calling these plays from 13, 14 years ago. That was Jimbo Fisher's issue.
With the guys that he brought in.
Right? Yeah, talent, but
those players were watching the same shit you were watching and went there. That don't fly with me.
But Jimbo Fisher still put the work in. He still was able to get those players. I'm not thinking about Colorado this year. Colorado will be pretty daggone good this year because they still have Shiloh Shador and Travis Hunter, and they still have some pieces around them. I'm thinking about Colorado post this. Is Deion Sanders going to jump ship when they leave?
Maybe he's not supposed to be there after this year.
Wow.
Wasn't it Jackson State when they were ready to leave?
Yeah, that's a good point. But wow, but
why is it?
So
wow?
what is it? What does he do now? What does he do next?
Lane Kiffin did that.
Yeah.
Riley did that.
Hey, yo, Tennessee was a debacle. Like I remember that like it was yesterday. But I'm just saying, what happens next for him? Like how do other programs look at this? Are other programs going to want this media circus? You know what I'm saying?
What if it's not a program?
You think he's going to the NFL? Oh, man. Take us home, Nino.
It's been a lovely Friday night chopping it up with you, talking ball. But my man, you got the line.
Yeah,
wrap it up real quick.
There are no more victories in the sport that survive in advance. That's why college football has the greatest regular season. And until next time, y'all already know what it is. One.